What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you're here, it means you probably backed the original Unlimited Terrain Creator Kickstarter about a year ago, for which I am super thankful. That was an awesome project, and I really enjoyed working with everybody and putting that together and getting it out. I think it was a really great start, but it's been about a year now, so we are long overdue for an update, and it's been kind of a crazy year for me, but luckily I've had a little bit more free time over the last couple of months, so I have been working hard on putting together a version 2.0 of this program that I think will be able to do a lot of cool things. It will remove a lot of the sort of annoying pain points that existed in the original version, and not only does it have a lot of cool new features and functionality, but it also has a lot of improved UI stuff as well as a lot of new 3D assets that I've added. So I think I added about 300 or so new 3D models to the program, so that's a little over half of what was in the original, I think. So there should be a ton more stuff to play with. I think it'll be a lot easier to set up and a lot more user friendly. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm excited for you guys to start playing around with it. And you should already have the links by now if you're seeing this video. So we're just going to jump right in and get into the installation, which should be a lot less painful than in the original. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we will go from there. If you already have your files, you should have gotten a zip file. So the first thing we want to do is download Blender. This is basically a series of Python scripts and other files that gets implemented in a 3D modeling program called Blender. It's a very popular, free-to-use 3D modeling program. And it has a very cool API that lets you add and update your own functionality using Python scripts. So that is pretty much what this program is. So all you really need to do is just search Blender and go to their website and go to download. And this add-on will work on any of the recent versions of Blender. So you'll just need to click the download Blender button up here, and it should start to download. And I don't really need to walk you guys through this step. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to follow the installation instructions, and I'm sure nobody will have any problems with that. But if you do, feel free to send me a message. I don't think you will, though. So that's all I need to do. I already have Blender on my computer, so I'm not going to do that now. But once you get it installed, it will create an icon on your computer that looks something like this, and you will just need to double-click that and open Blender. And when you first open up Blender, you'll see this little black and white and gray 3D space here in the middle that doesn't look very interesting, with a little cube in the middle, which you can delete by hitting the delete button. You don't have to, it doesn't really matter. And the first thing we're going to cover is just how to navigate Blender, how to move around and how to move the camera, because that's really all you need to know to use this, this program. Because if you can move around in a 3D space and click buttons and use drop-down buttons, you should be good to go. So we're going to cover the navigation here real quick. All you really need to know is to zoom in and zoom out. You use your mouse wheel. So just mouse wheel up to zoom in, mouse wheel back to zoom out. To rotate around the scene, you just hold down on your mouse wheel and move your mouse. And to pan around the scene or just move back and forth, you'll hold down shift, your mouse wheel, and then move the mouse. And that's pretty much it. Zoom in and out with the mouse wheel, rotate by holding down the mouse wheel, and move around by holding shift and the mouse wheel. There are a couple of other things that might be useful. If you hold down control and the mouse wheel button and then move your mouse, you can zoom in a little bit more controlled fashion. And you can also use some of the numpad keys to snap to certain viewpoints. So you can push, for example, you can use numpad 1 to snap to a front orthographic view, or numpad 3 to snap to a side orthographic view, or numpad 7 for a top-down view. And I know this doesn't really look like anything now because there's nothing in there, but that might be useful at some point. But for the most part, you'll really just be using your mouse wheel and your mouse to rotate around and pan and zoom in and zoom out. If you can do that, you should be good to go. So that's really all of the Blender specific stuff you need to know. After this, we are going to jump into the actual installation process, which I think will be a lot quicker and easier than the original version. Most of you probably remember in the original version there was a lot of there was a little bit more of an involved setup process. You had to install each Python script separately and link the 3D models in a separate section of Blender, and then activate the one you wanted to use and deactivate it when you wanted to use it. All that's going away. It should be much easier now. All you have to do is install one file. So we are going to go over that now. And if you're watching this, you've probably already gotten the links to the files. So I saved mine just to the downloads file. You don't really have to save this, because when Blender installs it, it'll create a local copy on its roaming directory. But I would still save it on your computer somewhere, just in case, I don't know, it gets removed or you delete Blender or anything like that. But it should be called Unlimited Terrain Creator. I've got it here in my downloads folder. So all you need to do is keep a note of where you have that saved. And then in Blender, go to Edit at the top, Preferences. In case you're not already on it, click on Add-ons on the side. Go to the Install button and just find that zip file. So mine's here. I'm just going to double-click that. And after a couple of minutes, you should see your add-on right here. All you need to do is click the checkbox, and that will enable the add-on. And then you can close out the Edit Preferences window. And you know it will work. You know it installed correctly if you see a couple of new tabs on the side, or at least one new tab. And if you don't see any tabs, click the N on your keyboard, and there should be this Select Script tab, which will have a Base Creator and a Terrain Creator button. In the original version, you couldn't have both of the scripts active at the same time, so you had to go back into Preferences and disable one and enable the other, and it was a whole lot of work. But this time, everything is packaged into one program, pretty much, one Blender add-on. So all you need to do is click these buttons to switch between the two. And we will start with the Base Creator in just a little bit, so I will see you guys in the next video.